What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott DeThomas. And tonight we are going to be having remarkable conversations with interesting people, or I could say dynamic conversations with remarkable people. We have one of our favorites. She is lighting up the screen. Dr. Kat Lewis is back. People have been enjoying her wisdom so much that she's rapidly shot to the ranks of one of our favorite presenters, and she's got more wisdom to share. So welcome back, Dr. Kat.
Thank you. Happy to be
And we
here.
have a new friend with us. We have Jackson Strong. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know him myself, and I think you're going to really enjoy him and all that he has to offer. And then a little bit later, finally, we're going to show the pre-recorded video with Rama and Alexander, our friends from Europe, who just got back from 22 country tour. And they have an amazing, it was a really wonderful pre-record, and you'll love what they have to say. Desiree is with us, and she will be doing her special sign languaging to Om Shar's music and maybe some other things. And of course, she will be collaborating with Diara as they lead our prayer time a little bit later. And we're launching a new feature tonight. Get to know the community members. And so what I'm going to do is, for those of you who want the audience to know a little bit more about you, we'll pre-record or do a live 10-minute kind of introduction to who you are and what your life is all about. And we are kicking that off tonight with Susan Bloomquist. So it's a new feature, and I'm curious to see how it lands for everybody. But to get us going in our favorite way, we are going to turn it over to our house musical artist, Mr. Om Shar, to get us going, moving and grooving as only he can.
Yes, and namaste, everybody. Welcome those who are watching on YouTube and Facebook and our streaming partners, Humanities Team, etc. This is a song about freedom. And so without further ado, let's do it. And all rise. The open roads of this brand new start, the peace that flows through this loving heart, 'cause freedom comes with letting go. Life renewed, new seeds to sow. Take my hand, I'm with you now. Relax yourself, your furrowed brow. The past has gone, so say hello. No looking back, onward we go. This is the life awaiting us, with family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise a brand new day. New mountain peaks for us to climb, new roads to walk, no reason why. It's time to know that we are one, with all of life, the central sun. And this is the life awaiting us, with family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise a brand new day. Cause freedom comes with letting go. This life renewed, new seeds to sow.
Let's go to Gallery View and give some big love and twinkles to Omashar and Desiree and all of our Global Peace Tribe dance team.
All of our rock stars. We saw you, Ian.
Well, I was kind of scanning who people want to meet and talk to. And of course, some people were saying Jesus, Bashar, but Lynn of Lynn and Leaf, she wrote that she would like to converse with Omashar.
Okay, well, that's cool. Let's have a chat. I shall enlist my higher self to speak on my behalf. So there we are.
You are in good company, my friend. You're in good company.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And he'll be back for 2 more songs tonight. It's a 3-song night. Well, I am excited to meet this new friend. Most of you know Scarlett, formerly known as Tammy Scarlett from Unify, and who's now doing all the relational AI stuff. And she sent me this recommendation, and I love referrals. Many of you provide referrals. And she said, Scott, Jackson Strong is somebody you're really going to like, and your audience will love him. So here he is. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about him. And I'm just getting to know him myself. So it's going to be kind of a joint experience. He has 20 years of history on the spiritual and alternative history research path. He's worked with amazing mentors in healing arts, martial arts, former secret society members. I'm going to ask him about that. Jackson's also over a decade in the corporate and private equity worlds and has seen life from a broad and deep perspective. In service, he leads men's groups, marketing agencies focused on purpose-driven entrepreneur, and now leads an organization we're going to learn all about called AUREA. Aurelia, how do we pronounce that?
Oreo, like Oreo cookie, but Oreo.
All right, Aurelia. He's been leading it for 3 years. And we're going to take a look at the website, learn all about it. Its mission is to unite world-changing innovators, artists, and healers who know they're here to make a difference in the world, a massive difference, mind you. So we're looking forward to learning all about it. And welcome to the Awakening World, Jackson.
Yeah, honored to be here, and thank you, Scarlett, wherever you are out there. Really excited to tune in and speak from the heart and allow us to continue to spiral up together.
So, Jackson, did you have a significant awakening that kind of kicked you out of the matrix, or has it been more of a slow, steady build?
Yeah, a little bit of both. In college, I got into New Age thought and Buddhism. I was reading Conversations with God and some other, really great, spiritual books. But it was the secret society member that I mentioned while I was working in this private equity world and doing some real estate stuff and investing in tech companies. We were in this big mansion in South Florida, and I saw he had the big Freemason ring on, big gold ring, and I asked him what that was about, really in my innocence and naivete. And much to my surprise, he spilled the beans on a ton of stuff and really didn't care about the oaths. He just cared about power and money, which he was very clear about. And he was very clear that, the Iraq war was a scam and 9/11 was an inside job, and, really pulled back the curtain on all kinds of stuff that, y'all may or may not agree with. I don't know. That was his perspective. And he gave me a few books to read and experts to study. And that kicked off, like here we are today, pretty much 20 years later. And it's been a wild, wild ride that's led into, like I said, the healing arts and spirituality, and just been a total nerd for all this stuff for the 20 years or so. And now I feel like I'm in a really place of samadhi with it, where and that really is a corollary to the what we talked about me speaking on tonight, is being able to dance with the shadow and the light and see that they're both the creator. They're both inherently good. They both serve our growth. It's far easier to be in the love and the light and the celebration. And then we end up, if we don't do the deep shadow work, we oftentimes, what I've done, I've seen others do, project our shadows onto others, or we come from a place of victimhood and disempowerment without being able to own it all and find this, really, to me, Christ consciousness center place of being able to hold all the light and all the shadow together.
So I always love to ask people kind of on a personal level, what's an example in your journey that you'd be willing to share of where you were challenged by looking at a shadow element for yourself, made your way through that journey, and then what was the benefit that came from it?
Yeah, let's see. There's so many, so many. What's my favorite here? I'd say the challenges of authenticity. And, in my youth, I always had a good, verbal ability. And so, vulnerably, honestly, I would lie to get myself out of trouble. And, I could speak quickly and think on my feet. And so that was a convenient way of, not dealing with short-term pain. As you may have experienced, like I have, that pain compounds and it gets worse over time, and we don't confront the things in the short term and really, address things head on and sail into the storm and be willing to be with the issue and say, yeah, here's this messed up situation. I'm going to address it head on, and being able to find the courage of true authenticity and find that heart resonance and be able to find the the level of intelligence that is beaming up from our hearts, and the neurons that are flowing north up to our head, where it's communicating up to our consciousness, and be able to come from that place of the courage and the compassion required to really speak the truth and have the difficult conversations, and have that, with myself, first of all, where I can really be honest, really be real with who I am and how I feel, what I'm about, and what I'm saying no to, what I'm saying yes to. And then with the people I care about and that I'm building community with, to be able to build a culture where all of us is welcome, and we can work through the difficult things, and we can have the difficult conversations, and not just blame, shame, judge, reject, project our stuff onto others, but really drop into a truly, heart-centered community, which is what deep down we're all looking for.
Absolutely. I often have said that 20 years ago, everybody was looking for their soulmate. Now everyone's looking for their community.
100%. And I didn't mention it in our primer on this, because I'm so used to kind of talking Aurea stuff, but I'm here on a 20-acre ranch outside of Austin, Texas now. And I'll just drop a quick link here in the chat also, because we are building a really beautiful, intentional community here, and are attracting some really incredible creators and builders. And right now it's just myself and Zach, who's off camera. Right now, if you want to lean in, you can say hi if you want to. But we're the co-stewards of the land out here. Yeah, there's Zach.
Hey, buddy, what's his name?
This is Zach Bodwin, the co-steward out here, if you want to say hi.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Zach, welcome to the Awakening World. And you're creating your own awakening world out there.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so Zach, made the courageous, inspired move to, become the steward out here over the summer, and then I moved out here a couple months ago. And you can find a lot of details on the link. And this really is, the inspired community really is the only solution, as far as I can tell, to let's just call it the meta crisis of isolation, the meta crisis of, the powers that be doing all of their messed up control grid stuff, and the digital ID things that we see out there. And there's no reason to fear. Fear really is the only thing to fear, but to be informed while still being clear and creative and powerful and proactive, and creating the world we really desire, without being naive to, the challenges of the world and the things that we face. That's the ethos that we're here to create from, and have the potential for some really profound shifts, and what I believe a new golden age for humanity is truly possible.
Yeah, that's, you now I know why Scarlett connected us, because that's very much the way that we see.
Yeah.
And
Love it.
Since you've talked about your place, I want to show it, because again, most people who are watching right now are watching on Facebook or YouTube. So to learn more about where visionaries gather to reimagine the future and restore the human spirit, go to reimagineranch.org.
Yes, sir.
Imagineranch.org. And I see that there's a click here to join the wait list. And that's the wait list for the opportunity.
So there's a few key pieces. One is that we will have housing here, and infused with really advanced healing technology and ultra clean materials, no Chinese drywall and lead and off-gassing and all that terrible stuff.
Right.
And then also bringing in really inspired creators and builders and tinkerers, and those that are here to build, to build a better world, and really driven to do so. So we've got some great tech partners and engineering partners coming together on that. The healing arts is a huge part of it. Plant medicines is a huge part of it. As I imagine many of us are familiar with the amazing power of psychedelics, especially when they're infused into a community culture, where it's not just a, wow, that was an amazing experience, and now I'm kind of a stressed out jerk again a couple weeks later. But we're really able to hold that into an integrated way, where it can become part of the culture. And so you bring all that together, and with advanced permaculture and health and schooling, and the fullness of the vision is really beautiful. It's a complete village where we can have elder care, we can have youth care, and it can really come together in a way that we're not in these horrific paradigms of putting our elders in in nursing homes and just casting them aside and just losing all their wisdom and love, and just like everything pardon me, everything's upside down. Everything's upside down. Doctors destroy health, lawyers destroy medicine, bankers destroy money, like society destroys itself. And before it all comes unglued, we're gonna make some big paradigm shifts. And that's, we're doing our best to be part of that.
Have you connected with Mark Hyman? Mark lives in Austin and he's a friend and colleague of mine. And he's like,
Oh, wow.
I consider to be the top functional medicine doctor and kind of the
Yeah.
guru of functional medicine. So I should connect you guys because he lives in Austin.
Yeah, I'd be super grateful. I mean, I've followed his work for many, many years. He's great. Thank you very much. I'd love to get
I
connected.
was on a Zoom with Mark for an hour and a half today. So
Oh, nice. Nice.
I'll connect you guys for sure, for sure.
Please. Thank you.
So all right, well, tell us now about your main gig.
Yeah.
Or Oreo with an A, Oreo.
Yes. Yes. So Oreo with an A. We started that a few years ago after a big men's trip down to the Everglades and a vision quest and some entheogenic support and tuning into a higher vision. And when we got back, we had the inspired idea to put a summit on. And we had the organizers of it, myself among them, had some really amazing connections, especially in the health freedom world and the plant medicine world, and also, really great spiritual teachers. And so we got really lucky. We got our dream venue of a crazy, amazing venue in Miami where I used to live. Had like a $20,000 deposit we didn't have to pay due to some synchronicities and divine, winks. And so we put together an amazing event and then started doing mastermind coaching, and like, I gotta get it past the term masterminds, but coaching containers, because we want to get out of the mind, right? So we gotta stop calling them masterminds. But yeah, so we've been doing these beautiful events and retreats and coaching containers for the last 3 years. Been amazingly blessed to have incredible speakers from all over the world join us. Founder of Envision, Stephen Brooks, and Jamie Wheel. We had Vishen Lakhiani, the founder of Mind Valley. A ton of amazing indigenous leaders, and really are here to be in that eagle condor prophecy. The
Right.
north and the south are meeting each other, the east and the south are meeting each other, and it's time for us to step into the fullness of how do we embrace all the gifts and the powers that are in Western culture, temper that with the heart, temper that with the wisdom of the indigenous and the east, and be able to really bring it together where we can have high technology, we can have high spirituality, and we can have these beautiful moments in time where we can experience who and what we really are in our highest self, in our highest truth, which really only comes out when we're amongst others in a similar frequency with a similar intention. So, we really hold that Sophia Christos energy as far as our spiritual center, while bringing in wisdom from other traditions. And, they were kind of the synthesis of so many different paths. And so when we center ourselves in that, and then, like I said, bring together these amazing events and speakers and celebration and dance, and just create moments in time where we can be in the celebration of life and the celebration of what we're doing here, and receive a vision for the next step, and then find the community and the structure and the roadmaps where we can bring that inspired vision into reality in a steady, methodical, and empowered way.
So do you have any upcoming festivals or events planned for this year?
Yeah, the next one will be in the summertime. With the land project and everything, we've kind of diverted a lot of attention there right now to get this moving in a great way. So if you see the OreoLeaders.com link that was in the chat, then there's an email sign up there. Definitely encourage you all and invite you all cordially to join us there. And if you saw me my Instagram link, yeah, so these are some of our previous events. They're so beautiful, just so blessed. There's Paul Hutchinson. He did the film Sound of Freedom, as an icon in human trafficking relief. There's Vishen, and it's just been a total blessing. There's me, and we just have a blast. They're just super, super fun, while holding a really intentional frequency for how do we get to the next step of humanity, and what does this age of Aquarius and new earth and golden age reality really look like. And we're here to bring together the luminaries that have a vision for what that is, and are driven to bring it to life. And as we do that together, we can make a massive impact. And as we do that with these land projects, then we can really plant the seed and really make this a permanent and lasting aspect of the human experience.
For everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube, it's spelled AUREA leaders.com. AUREA, or yeah, leaders.com. And then once you go there, everybody, and I encourage all of our people, everybody's watching right now is on a computer, go ahead and go to it and then click join the movement. There we go. And what I'm doing, which is putting in your information, so that we can keep up with what he's doing here. And definitely,
Yeah, I really
Jackson,
appreciate
let's maybe, I'm pressing get access. Well, hopefully that has gone through. I definitely would love to, talk to you
that. It should
more
work.
about, there's so many people we've had on this show. We've been doing the show for almost 6 years, and we've had hundreds of amazing presenters. You mentioned Eagle and the Condor, Chief Phil Lane, who put together the whole event with Indigenous elders from North and South America meeting, is one of our regulars. And I'd love to introduce you to some of the appropriate speakers for your next event,
Yeah, thank you.
because what you're doing is really, really beautiful. Now, that's the professional stuff. Personally, you've had your foot in both worlds. You've seen the very corporate, sociopathic part of it. You're in the awareness of all the bullshit that, whether it's Democrats or Republicans, I don't trust any of them at this point,
No.
How do you balance inspiration and hope for the future while recognizing the very real dilemmas and challenges that humanity is facing?
Mm. The first answer that comes to mind is being around kids, being around children, and just seeing their level of joy and enthusiasm and wonder, and just the purity of what a soul really is. And when you meet some of these just miraculous children that are in the world today, it's just like, how do you not want to protect that? Like, how do you not want to make this world better for them? And I'm not a father yet, but I have lots of friends who are, and it's just, yeah, I just can't help but not get this like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like, we're gonna do the difficult things to make this happen. And the other thing that is like a really anchored truth for me is the spiritual truth that I just know and feel in every aspect of my being, that this is all part of the creator. This is all part of the infinite intelligence that has put this world together. And if we didn't have the dark side out there, we wouldn't be motivated to do anything about it. If Luke Skywalker didn't have Darth Vader, if Harry Potter didn't have Voldemort, if all these great heroes and heroines of history, if there wasn't an oppositional force that seems so evil and wrong, but in reality it serves the activation of the light, then there wouldn't be a motive. We'd just be in, we'd be up in the fifth dimension, which we all kind of miss it, I know. But we decided to come down here to experience polarity, experience the breath of consciousness that is here on earth, which is spicy, as we all know. But it's so rich and it's so beautiful, and the pain that we suffer, I know that it can be kind of a trope. I'm sure we've all heard it, but always bears repeating, is this, that the pain that we experience down here on earth, it gives us the appreciation for how magical life really is. And so, yeah, those are a couple things where I find my motivation.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Who are some of the speakers, presenters, teachers that have made the biggest impression on you or have had the most influence?
Mm. Let's see here. So there's one the first one that flashes to mind is a woman named Amanda Shendell. And she doesn't have the biggest following. We've had some really big name speakers that have huge followings and whatnot, but she has a level of joy and enthusiasm for life, and she runs a medicinal mushroom retreat out in California. And she just has this innate, just like tapped into like the joy button of the universe energy that really infuses me with an incredible amount of enthusiasm. Second one I'd say is Dr. Samuel Lee. If you all know him, the Spiritual Psychiatrist podcast, and Dr. Samuel Lee on Instagram. He is an incredible intelligence in the Keylontic sciences and Kathara. If that's something any of y'all have gotten into, it's the most intricate spiritual science I've ever encountered. Yeah, Dr. Laura, yeah, I didn't get it at first. It was just way too complicated for me when I first heard of it many years ago. And then recently with Dr. Samuel Lee and another dear friend of mine, Marla Lindner, who runs a Bufo Healing Sanctuary here in Austin. Any of you who are looking for an amazing facilitator in the Bufo or Iboga space, she's extraordinary and a dear friend of mine. And yeah, I'd see that those are two that come to mind with a ton of power and just just brilliant, just gifts to life. Amazing beings.
Beautiful, beautiful. And where would you say, with all the studies that you've done, where are you currently in terms of spiritual practice? What are some of the practices that you do to connect to spirit?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a member of Dr. Sam's school community. So he has a lot of great meditations in there I listen to first thing when I wake up. I'll spend 20 minutes or so listening to a great meditation to get my mind, my energy really clear and aligned. And I am blessed to be here in nature and be able to go get some time in the trees and walk around and move and breathe and just allow myself to really drop into the awe and the wonder that exists here on this beautiful earth. And then from there it's exercise. I just need to move my body, and that gets my joy and my passion really tuned up in life. And if I follow those things and I eat relatively healthy, drink plenty of water, then I feel good. I did this extreme emotional release over New Year's Eve, so my voice is still kind of raspy. There was I don't know how much time I have left here. Do I have another few minutes?
Yeah, you got another few minutes. Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just tell a quick story. So Charles Eisenstein is your neighbor? Okay, well that's cool. Love Charles, and he was one of our speakers, as y'all may have
Charles
seen.
has been on this show a few times.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Charles, I mean, that God, what like just a sage. I mean, God, he's just the epitome of a sage. Um, so yeah, so I'll share. It's kind of vulnerable and kind of edgy, but it's my experience. And so when in my youth, I had nightmares for many years of being abducted. It was not nice. It was not pleasant. It was very scary. And Greys were the abductors. And I didn't know for sure if it was nightmares or if it were real experiences. I'm open to seeing it from a reductionist perspective or a more mystical perspective. But I never had seen myself in the craft. Whenever the nightmares would happen, as soon as I would get taken out of my house, I would black out. I wouldn't remember anything until I woke up. Over New Year's, this very powerful energy worker and healer that I met, Phoenix. What's up, Phoenix? Thank you for kicking my metaphysical butt. But yeah, she took me through a series of processes, and it wasn't the intention to go revisit this, but it came through. But I saw myself in the craft, and I saw myself face to face with these beings, and it was terrifying. And I was full of fear and rage, and it's like every extreme emotion. And so I did these really massive screaming processes, and completely blew my voice out. So we're just about a week later now, or exactly a week later, and I'm still healing my voice. But I feel much better now, and it was nice to purge that, whatever it was, be they nightmares or real, real experiences with some nasty members of the universe.
Have you tracked Whitley Strieber's experience? Do you know who Whitley is?
I do. Yeah, he's fascinating.
He's been on the show many times, and
Wow.
I first put him on a television show that I was working on 35 years ago. So we've known each other, and of course, initially he was like the
Oh,
identified most with his alien abduction stories. But his whole journey has really transitioned from a perception of it being a very negative, frightening experience, and has a very different attitude about it now. So it might be interesting for you to kind of track his journey, because what you're saying to me sounds like it might be a similar pathway.
yeah. Yeah, thanks. I'm familiar from a high level, but definitely could use some deeper digging. And, if they were upgrades, thanks, guys. You could have had a little bit better bedside manner than that, but I'll definitely check into that, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to the terror is real. Anybody's emotional
Yeah.
pain is real. And so it's important for us not to spiritually bypass it, to acknowledge the pain, to acknowledge the fear, to not rationalize that it's okay. But also to look at, okay, how has this expanded? Because like you said, everybody needs every protagonist needs an antagonist. And I think most of us, if we look back at the biggest lessons of our life, it's usually connected to the hardest challenges or the most painful experiences.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. A great irony in that.
I'm definitely go back and check out all the comments, because definitely you've lit up our audience, and
Oh, great.
hopefully this will just be the first of many visits on the Awakening World, Jackson.
Yeah, super honored. I really appreciate you, Scott, and everyone else. And really honored to be here and excited to get to know you all better as time unfolds.
Great. Yeah, hope to have you again. Stick around, because you're going to really enjoy what our next person has to share, because it's Dr. Kat Lewis. And she's been on the show several times, actually, over the last couple months, just because her ability to combine spirituality and science is where I think most of us are living, fascinated by and wanting to understand. And I invited her back tonight right away because I started her course on Sunday, and something I'd shared with her before the show began. I'm a snob when it comes to workshops because I've taught so many, I've attended so many. And so somebody's got to be really, really good for me to commit my time, let alone 13 weeks, 3 hours a shot on Sundays. And her first one was on Sunday, I committed, and I'm so glad that I did. She's really got, it's beautiful. And so I asked her actually to come on to share a little bit, a particular segment that I thought our audience would really appreciate, because she visually and through her wisdom lays out a really beautiful description that's helping us to understand what is going on. So welcome back, Dr. Kat. And I want to shamelessly say, I hope that more of our audience members will decide to join your Sunday course. I know it started on Sunday, but a person could watch the replay, the recording of last week. So anyway, I'm doing all the talking, and now I'm going to turn it over to you to do all the talking. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think, my biggest message to the world is, if we want to understand Source, God, we have to pay attention to it. And it's not something out there. It's actually right here. This seemingly empty space is God. It's Source. And science is revealing this to us. I think it's the greatest illusion has been that it's right here. And our physical body and all matter, everything that we see, is made out of this space. And it seems empty, but it's really full of energy. And it is the greatest illusion that we are separate, and that we are not the thing we've been looking for, which is our source, which is God. And once we start really understanding it and paying attention to it, the universe becomes alive, because our state of being determines how we experience it. If we don't know that it's there, when we don't pay attention to it, our senses become immune to it. We don't experience it. So we have to open our awareness. We have to understand what reality is, and then pay attention to it, and then it starts becoming alive to us. Our inner senses awaken. So we're basically open our awareness to experiencing more of what reality is. And yeah, so if we want to include Source in our world, and in fact, that's really why our world is the way it is because we haven't understood what reality actually is. We were taught that Source was out there, apart from us, that we descended from heaven, but there is no descension. It's right here. We just have to pay attention to it, and then it becomes alive to us. Did you want me to show some of those slides that you wanted?
I would love that. Yes,
Okay.
please.
So I actually worked on them a little bit, so it might look a little bit different. Okay, so we can start here first. And so what the course is, and what I study is basically the integration of the science of consciousness, which is Vedanta, non-dual, that we live in a non-dual reality. We experience a duality, but it's a non-dual reality. There's just one thing here, one mind. And it is manifesting as many, just like when we have a dream at night, that whole entire dream reality that you experienced occurred inside your mind. So you experienced space in the dream, you experienced other people and other objects, and you had your own dream body in the dream, but that whole reality occurred inside your consciousness, your field of awareness, and that's exactly what's going on here too, in the physical reality. So the background of reality is really consciousness, and everything, all matter, is also consciousness. It's just a manifestation of consciousness. So in Vedic science, they define consciousness as Sat Chit Ananda. Sat stands for existence or beingness, the isness of everything. Chit is awareness, Ananda is bliss. And once we recognize who we actually are, we experience that bliss. And so I'm going to break that down for you in just a second. But pure consciousness is not, I'm going to talk about the unified field, but pure consciousness is not the unified field. It is the unmanifest infinite awareness in which the unified field, which I'll describe in just a second, manifests. So our best physics is showing us that the material reality that we experience emerges from this fundamental field. And so space that we experience, it seems empty, but it's not empty. It's filled with energy, and energy is information. And all matter, so everything we see, including the physical body, is emerging out of this space. And what we experience as matter is not fundamentally solid, it's actually energy, it's actually light. And once we develop our inner senses, we can actually experience it that way, as that, but we have to pay attention. Okay, so, and the universe is also a holograph, a unified holographic system, meaning it's a holographic projection. So just like your dream at night is a projection in your own mind, so is the universe. And that also means that every single point in the universe has the information of the whole, because it's just one mind. Okay, so what we experience as matter is just these tiny little units of energy vibrating. So it's a sea of infinite potential. It creates these little vortices or eddies in the field, and then we experience it as matter. Okay. So what physics is saying is basically what Vedanta is saying in a different way. So in Vedanta is the science of consciousness. It's been around for thousands of years, maybe 10,000 or more. And it really uses the unexamined logic of our own experience to show us that we are consciousness and not the physical body. Okay, so you can, our best physics from Nassim Haramein at the International Space Federation is basically showing that what we experience as the universe is a pattern, a series of nested tori. And you can think of the universal mind, as this double torus. It's a self-sustaining, self-perpetuating flow of energy and information. So you can think of this as the mind inside here, and then it's a feedback, feed-forward system. And so the entire universe is within this mind, this one mind. So you can see quasars and you can see galaxies, and so Earth would be in here somewhere, and then we ourselves are within this. We are nested within this as well. Okay. So think of that field, this right here, the mind of the universe. We are inside there. So I'm going to show you how this field manifests as matter. So how does the formless become form? So the unified field is energy dense and information rich. So it's enormous amounts of energy, and it's really a sea of light, a sea of tiny units of light, photons. And then those create this toroidal pattern. So like a vortex in water. Okay, so that's how it looks separate. So if a vortex in water, if you pulled the drain in a bathtub, the vortex that starts going down, there's actually air coming up, you just can't see it. So that area where the vortex is going down, it looks like it's separate than the rest of the water, but it's made out of the same stuff, right? It's all water. And so that creates this boundary condition. And what that does is it sets up this the dynamic of I'm here, centered here, and I experience objects out here in my toroidal field. Okay, so in physics terms, this is the unified field, and then it creates a nodal point, and when there's a nodal point in that field that manifests the torus, that's called a singularity. So that creates the perception that you're separate than the rest of the field. Okay, and then, yeah, so the double torus creates the illusion of separation. A wave is never separate from the ocean. And then you can see at the bottom of the slide, what's happening is you're going from energy and information materializing into form. So as in Vedanta, you would call this the causal body, so the spark or the information that's manifesting. I lost my cursor. Can you see my cursor?
We don't try scrolling it around. No,
There it goes. Okay.
there it is. It's
Got
back.
it. Okay. Okay, so in Vedanta, they call that the causal body, the spark of creation. So the potential, the unmanifest potential that's creating you. And then so that would be, just the potential that's creating you, and you see the body starts materializing inside this field. So this double torus, we call in Vedanta, would be the subtle body. Okay, so it's an electromagnetic field of movement and information. So this torus, this information flow here from the universal mind is also a double torus. And then we have our own double torus. And the physical body crystallizes inside there. So all form, all matter that you see has this dynamic. And then the little units that are making up our body also have this dynamic. And then we have a larger one around the body that is basically like the summation of all those tori within the physical body. So the subtle body, this torus in Vedanta, is called the mind. It's where our experience takes place. So you can think of it as a 3D holographic projection, and it feels like I'm over here and then the rest of the world is out here. But all of that is occurring inside your mind. So in Vedanta, the subtle body is the ego, the intellect, memory, all sensation. It's the pattern in which this double torus takes is a pattern displayed in the field that looks like the world that you experience. So, okay. Yeah, so you can think of this as the holographic projection. It's like the screen of your mind, and your thoughts are projected onto that screen. So awakening is when we recognize that we are the field. When our consciousness recognizes that we are the field, then what happens is that sense of me and another softens. You don't have that separation anymore, because this is creating that illusion of separation. And when we recognize that we actually are the field, that we're not separate from the field, then that softens. Your double torus softens and you feel expanded into the field. So this all came from me having an experience where my whole body turned into light. But right before that happened, I felt complete oneness with the field. I was the space and everything in it. I could see it was all me. And I felt weightless. My body felt weightless. I could see it, but it felt no different than the space. So that is a state of now that happened because I came into coherence with the field. I wasn't consciously producing that state. But you can consciously produce that state once you understand the mechanics behind it. And this is where you start to understand what miracles are. Because when you're one with the field, then you have more control over how the field manifests. Okay, so that's basically what I just described. So when you recognize yourself as the field, the subject object fragmentation collapses. So that's why I drew this torus a little bit lighter. It's just slightly lighter, so you could still see it. Attention stops scattering. You become very present. You're totally aligned with who you actually are, not the story that's in your head. The nervous system calms down and it relaxes, and you phase lock with the true self, which is the field. So energy and information stop fighting themselves because you're totally aligned. And then your experience organizes around that single center. Now, so when that happens, your torus, which is creating your experience, it flows very easily. So synchronicities happen faster. So you can think of it like when an ice skater spins, when she brings or he brings their arms into the center, they spin faster, right? There's less resistance. So when we're totally centered with who we actually are, that's what happens. Then the torus just spins. And remember, we are in the universal flow. So you begin to feel this more. And when you're not resisting life, and you're present, your inner senses turn on. Basically, what's happening is you become aware of these higher frequency domains of energy that are always here right now. And that's when the universe becomes alive. I feel energy out here. I feel it coming down. I feel this vortex coming down through the crown. I feel it going up. So, and I didn't feel any of this, maybe 6-7 years ago. So this is all really new. And it all came from that experience. And I wanted to basically understand. I needed to understand how that experience happened. So I started studying the physics. I went into my spiritual heart. I discovered what the spiritual heart was, because after that experience, I could feel all this energy just radiating out of my chest. And I was like, what is this? And I could feel energy out here, and everything was alive in the universe. When I'd walk around, and my body felt very weightless and light, and I could take in enormous amounts of air. But after a number of months, that went away because I didn't understand enough. Because our experience of the physical reality is dependent on what we believe, who we think we are, and what the reality is. When we don't know that we live in the mind of the universe, that this is a mind, and it's our source in creating us, we don't pay attention to it. We just think it's empty space, and we don't pay any attention to it. So we have to pay attention to it. So the experience went away. Everything became more solid again. I could always feel the heart energy, but I didn't feel the energy out here. I didn't feel energy in my body other than the heart energy. But then, because I wanted to understand more, somehow I was led to the spiritual heart, and I started realizing what that energy was. I was bringing my awareness into the heart. I was starting to understand the different layers of reality, which is exactly what physics helps us understand too. And then once I started understanding that, and then I started studying the physics, all of it came back. So I feel energy all the time. I feel like everything's bouncing, everything's alive. It's really beautiful. So in physics, when we come into when we align with this, we call that coherence. In Vedanta, it's called, you go from identification with form, the physical body and the world, to identification with the field. That's when this happens. And the lived experience is that you feel effort drops. Everything just flows. Fullness arises because this energy starts expanding out of you. You feel really full. And that's why bliss appears. The experience of when we reconnect to ourselves, that's the experience, is bliss. It's beautiful. So this is just a different view of that same information. I was playing around with the backgrounds. So, Scott, did you have any questions? Do you want me to continue?
I'm muted. Please continue. I am scanning some of the questions that are coming in, or the comments, I should say. And people are really enjoying it very, very much. So continue. And if anybody does have questions, put them in the chat box, and send it to me as a private message in chat because it's easier for me to find it that way.
Okay. So, so the science of awakening to this truth is a process. So, you can have an experience like I did. That's not enlightenment. That's not the truth. Like, the reason it couldn't stick around is because I couldn't stabilize it, because in order to stabilize it, I have to understand who I actually am and what reality actually is. So that's why many people have these types of experiences, but they just go away. You can have them on plant medicines. You can have them just spontaneously, like I did. You can have them in deep meditation. But if you don't really understand on a day-to-day basis who you actually are, not as a physical body, but as consciousness and what this reality is, you can't stabilize those states. So it is a process. And that process, you're basically going from, in Vedanta, we call it ignorance. So not knowing. So you are in separation consciousness. You experience empty space. You think, I'm this individual over here, separate from everybody else. Everything else is out there. So that's separation consciousness or ignorance. And then you might hear about this. You discover this knowledge somewhere. So your mind gets open and you're curious. And so you're saying, okay, well, apparently I'm not separate, that we are connected. There's just one mind here, but I feel separate. So I'm going to learn. And so I'm trusting the information I get. So you could say that's faith. And then over time, as you keep applying the information to your daily experience, you go into a state of knowing. When you stand as awareness, you start practicing becoming one with the field, then you go into a state of knowing. Okay. And in this process of aligning to that divine mind or Christ consciousness, you start basically, in order to start, one of the qualifications is you have to have a burning desire for liberation. So there's basically qualifications for enlightenment. And that is, the number one is a burning desire. Because if you don't have a burning desire to understand the truth, and truth leads you to freedom, because we are not the physical body, we are bodies of consciousness, and we are free. As that, we're free, and we always have been free. But if you don't have a burning desire for that, then you won't take the time to apply the knowledge, to learn about it. And so it just won't happen, because it's really complicated to be able to, the world is a great illusion. So it will keep us tied to it, and we won't take the time. So we have to be dedicated, we have to be disciplined, and we have to use our discernment. And discernment is really about, in Vedanta, it's about discerning between what's real and what's apparently real. And meaning what's real is the thing that never changes, that's eternal, ever present, never born, never dies. It's unaffected, unlimited, infinite awareness. That's the only thing that's real. And then everything else, the relative reality, the dream that we experience, our dream state, as well as this dream of physical reality, is apparently real. We experience it, but it's not real. So we need to be able to discern that. We need to be able to discern between thoughts, so our thoughts are part of that relative reality. Our emotions are also part of that relative reality. And so those are always coming and going. So we use discernment to say, well, who I am as consciousness never changes. Thoughts are changing, emotions are changing, the world's always changing, my cells are always changing. So therefore, those are apparently real. And then as you keep applying that, that's one of the key tools in Vedic science, you keep applying that so that you can always put your attention back on you, awareness. And then over time, as you apply that knowledge, you start to remove the doubt, because as you move through this process, there's going to be doubts. It's like, how am I not the body? How am I infinite awareness? I don't feel infinite. And so when you apply the knowledge, it starts removing that doubt. You learn how to stand as awareness, that infinite, unbounded awareness. And as you do this, you start acquiring and adopting new beliefs that are more in alignment with the actual truth, of reality. And anything that happens during this process, lessons, these are basically showing us belief systems that are out of alignment. So when we find things challenging, the challenge is an indication that, oh, I must have a belief that's out of alignment with this truth, the truth of who I am, eternal, unaffected, ever present, unlimited, blissful awareness. And then that, if you keep applying this, that leads to freedom. Because as unlimited awareness, we're never limited. It allows you to become one with the divine mind. You come in, you have the ability to co-create with the divine mind. You become more conscious that you are a co-creator. And you also experience unconditional love, not just for yourself, but for others. And so what happens as you take this path is all of these are the benefits. You become more and more aware of your misalignment, and you really feel it. So this can be a challenging part of the awakening process, because when you're out of alignment, you will really feel it. Detachment, but detachment is a good thing. Detachment in a way that it's just unconditional. You don't have any problem with anybody, with yourself. You're forgiving of yourself. You're forgiving of everybody, because you know everybody is here just doing their best and learning this too. Now, in the life and teachings of the Masters of the Far East, one of the things that they say is, they said, the divine science of our being is to know that we are God. And that's the path of the human experience, is to know that we are God. And if you look around at all the information that's coming out right now, especially some of the physics that's coming out, it's showing us that we are not the body, that the consciousness is the ground of all being. Everything that we see is consciousness, and that's what some of this information is showing you tonight. So we are learning this. Okay, so forgiveness, your senses attuned to these higher frequencies, so you experience how alive everything is. You release barriers to love, and that's actually what happens. So when we unify with the field, it is the experience of love, bliss or love. You could define it as either. The word bliss could be the word love. It's the softening of our mind, and then that allows us to unify with the field. We become more flexible, so we're just going with the flow. We're not affected by what's happening, so we don't get upset at things. We experience more freedom, joy, health. Our health becomes, we really increase our vitality, because the field is actually the source of us. It's the source of our bodies. And as we come into coherence with it, I showed last time that Science of Love talk, how when we come into coherence with it, that energy just propagates up through our biology. Our brain function changes, it gets better, so we increase vitality. And I showed you earlier the vortex, when it really starts spinning fluidly, that's when synchronicities happen, that's when miracles happens. We have more love for life, more knowledge, more intelligence, and we can communicate with higher intelligence, and we experience more unity with everything and everyone. So in the life and teachings of the Masters, it says, he will learn to think things through. Old ideas will drop away, ideas will be new ideas will be adjusted. He will soon find the ease and efficiency of the system. He will learn, He will learn at last to take all the questions that perplex him into the silent hour, into your heart. So he's basically describing what I just went through. It's a process of releasing old ideas. I love the Yoda. Yoda said, you must unlearn what you have learned. Because everything we were just taught, we were born here, we were given a subset of ideas, and we thought that's all there was, right? But those ideas didn't include that, no, God's not out there. This is God. It's right here. So, okay. Scott.
There are questions for you.
Okay.
So from Dr. Laura, does the singularity create the subtle torus first, and then the emotional torus, and then the physical torus? In other words, is that the order?
Yes.
subtle
yeah.
Taurus,
So
emotional.
yeah. So in the subtle, let me bring the picture up. In the subtle body, the physical body crystallizes inside there. And so that's where all your experience, so your emotions, sensations, intellect, memory, ego, all of that is within that subtle body. So this in Vedanta would be the thing that goes from incarnation to incarnation, because you're basically taking information and crystallizing a body. Okay, so different incarnations would be just different bodies, but this can also fractalize, right? So yeah, this can fractalize. So you can think of your oversoul fractalizing into many different ones of these, producing different individuals.
Susan Bloomquist writes, Dr. Cat is our favorite Yoda. um, and so I would agree with that. And Dia Therese writes, Dr. Cat, your creativity abounds in your continuity and ability to give us these new slides. They truly make a difference in my understanding and in becoming love incarnate. I agree. These are beautiful visuals.
I think they help tremendously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's when I saw it. It's like, okay, we got to show this. Okay, we have another question from Dr. Laura for Dr. Cat. She's asking you, have you read the 7 Hermetic principles? One of them is the principle of polarity or duality. How does this fold into Vedic science?
I haven't read those, so I can only imagine that it's basically taught. I mean, this is where polarity is manifesting, right? So if you have, okay, so if we look back, okay, if we just took this away, if we just had within here the double torus here. Now, by the way, I got this slide from William Brown at the International Space Federation, who got it from someone else, and he can't remember who. So, and I think it was just half the torus here, and it didn't show this other half. So I created this other half. I just took an image of this and then flipped it because it is a double torus. But anyway, if you see that light in the center, so that would be
right.
That you think of that going within here. So consciousness or existence would be that center and then everything out here. And it's not dark, right? It's just the isness of everything. It's just hard to draw it because you can't draw it. You can't objectify it. Then that starts, when that becomes self-aware, it produces this, like me over here and everything else out there, right? So you could say in here, it's the one, and as the one, it doesn't have any experience. It's just the one, and it's everywhere. It's unbroken awareness. And then it becomes self-aware and produces the universe. And then and then there's many, this happens at all scales. It's like infinitely large and infinitely small. So even this is not really accurate because there isn't just one. It's like, it's one repeating infinitely, like at all scales, as high as infinitely large and then infinitely small. I forgot. Sorry, what was the question again?
The question was about, in the Hermetic principles, the principle of
Okay.
polarity and duality.
Okay. Yeah, so as this manifests to produce this, that's polarity. You have to have polarity in order to produce a subject and an object over there, right? But I don't know how they use it in Hermetic principles.
Okay. I don't see any other questions other than how to spell Taurus.
T-O-R-U-S.
Okay, we have people had
I might have
Um,
spelled it wrong in here somewhere.
No.
Is that why?
I think you got it. Well, I want to encourage everybody to really discover more about Dr. Cat. And so I'm going to go to her link tree. As Almost Sharp pointed out, link tree is to the left of Joshua Tree. And her link tree is linktr.ee/Dr. Cat Lewis, K-A-T Lewis. And I really want to encourage everybody to go there, check out our website from there, take the quiz, but most of all, click Course Spiritual Heart, the life and teachings of the Masters of the Far East. And I really would love to share this course with some of you, even kind of, share how what we're learning, how we're growing, how we're experiencing our awakening even more on the show. So I hope that some of you will decide to join. And it just started on Sunday. You can get the recording. Is there anything you'd like to share about the course as we're looking at it, Kat?
Well, I can't remember what I said earlier, but I think, it's an integration of the physics because it helps us ground it in our experience, but also we have to take our awareness within in order to really understand all of this. Like I can show it to you, but if you don't experience it by going in, it's not going to make a difference in your life. Intellectual knowledge is not enough. We have to learn how to ground and stabilize in this state in order to truly experience everything I just shared with you tonight.
I do want to point out the Fountain of Youth part of it because everybody on this show is one day older than we were yesterday. And we're all a week older since last week. We're all aging. And I would like you to talk a little bit about how this course it has a very practical impact on our aging process.
You wanted me to talk about that? Is that what you
Yes,
said?
please. Yes,
Okay,
please.
yeah. Sorry, my dog's barking.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And my dog
yeah.
is totally like, where is that? Where's that happening?
So, the reason our physical body ages or has any sort of dis-ease is because we are out of coherence with this truth. Okay. So the field is creating the physical body. When we are in coherence with this field, that energy propagates up because energy is information. So the field contains the information that is our ideal blueprint. Okay. When we are shifted from that, we create disease. We create decoherence. That creates inflammation and aging. Aging is really just, or disease is really just the body aging faster than necessary. So as we come back into alignment with the field, come into coherence with the field, that energy just propagates. That energy that carries the information that is our pristine blueprint just propagates through our entire system, and we can have spontaneous healings. That's true regeneration. So what has to happen if we want to live in that state, you would be in a constant flow of regenerative energy. That is the fountain of youth. So when I had that experience, my body, I felt this rush of liquid electric energy. That's the way I described it then, and I still describe it that way now. And it shot right out of here, right out of my heart, and just went, whoosh, and then my whole body turned into light. Everything felt like light. So that was a profound state of coherence with the field. And I wasn't trying to do anything at the time, like in those moments that it actually happened, but I had been doing a number of practices that led me to that, into a state of resonance with the field that then produces a state of coherence. And coherence is when that energy and information propagate up through the system without interference. When we have decoherence, that creates interference. So the energy is propagating through, but it's experiencing a lot of interference, and then that's what creates disease and aging. So now that we understand the mechanism, I really believe that we're going to live a lot longer, and we're going to experience youth a lot longer. So we'll live younger and longer, we'll live younger and stronger longer.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you for helping us to all get younger. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Again, I hope some people will join the course. Stick around. I'm sure there's going to be some comments and questions that might come into you in the chat box. You'll see, people's real appreciation of what you're doing. And we're at the mid-show break time, a little bit past mid-show, to be honest. But we are going to go to Omar Shah for our mid-show song. Hey, brother.
Contemplating everything I knew, seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to. Contemplating what is pure and true, sun and moon and stars and light and earth and water too. We are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Got to know we're coming home again. Open hearts and open minds and open doors and loving friends. Look at the one who's standing by you now. Destiny is in our hands, so leave the density behind. We are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Turning to the face of those who need the light of truth to help them turn the other cheek and turn around. Lift each other up into the highest point of view so that together we can move to higher ground. Contemplating everything I knew, seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to. Contemplating what is pure and true, sun and moon and stars and light and earth and water too. We are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Lift each other up into the highest point of view so that together we can move to higher ground. Contemplating everything I knew, seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to.
Brilliant song. As Susan Bloomquist, right? That's the perfect song for tonight.
Okay.
Absolutely brilliant, Omar
Yes, it's yes. Thank you so much.
Right.
It's the goddess of music through me. There we are.
The goddess shines brightly through you, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, it's funny. They've made it onto 3 posters because I kept thinking I was going to show the Rama and Alexander video. And finally, every show we end up, things go longer, people are interesting. But finally tonight we're going to show it. And they are wonderful. They have been on the show before, but not for, I think, about 1.5 years. And you're going to meet them. I'm not going to say too much because it's all in the video. But Rama and Alexander are 2 members of the Evolutionary Leaders Network. They live in Europe, and they just got back from traveling to 22 countries. And they're going to share some of what they experienced and some of, well, you'll see. There's also going to be a lot of happy birthday messages because I filmed this just around the time of my birthday. And originally we were going to show this on the December 27th show that I did with Kristen Hoffman. So time is relative, as Dr. Kat could certainly explain to us. So it's really my pleasure to introduce you both, introduce all of you to both Rama and Alexander, a beautiful, beautiful couple, and enjoy their video here. So we're starting off with our fur family, and of course, Jasmine Bear and Rama and Alexander are longtime friends. I just woke her up to say hello to them. And tell us who you've got there.
Well, this is Samba, born in the south of Italy and now living in Nice in France, where we are at the moment, where the One Home Journey is parked for this week. Oops.
Beautiful. It's a happy, holy day opportunity to be with our beloved friends, Rama and Alexander, who have been traveling all over the world, sharing the wisdom and the support through Home for Humanity. So thank you for taking a few minutes to be with us on our December 27th show. And tell us, where are you right now geographically?
We are in the south of France, and we couldn't be happier that we are joining your show, dear Scott, right around your great birthday coming around. And
thank you. And we're, of course, sandwiching our talk with you in between 2 songs from our beloved mutual friend Tatiana, who has become, she kind of, her coming out a few years ago was on our show, and she was kind of shy, and she hadn't been performing for many years, and now she's just like a superstar, and doing her retreats. So it's been really wonderful to watch her evolution.
Yes, and the 2 songs are 2 amongst the 3 or 4 songs that have been a beautiful way that she's been part of the Home for Humanity family from the beginning, that she's composed inspired by the movement, to support the movement. And one of them is actually the One Home Anthem, which was like the send-off song as we started our journey. Which we feel it's such a blessing to be with you on your birthday, in your birthday moment. And really we felt that at this time, it felt like a time to count what you just said as we started the show, dear Scott, which is the gifts, the gift of life, gifts that life gives us. I mean, Christmas was a big reminder to us, that life is always coming up in the midst of terribly troublesome times with a gift, if only we will see it and recognize it, but also asking of us, what's the gift we have to give back to life? And it felt like right now with what's happening around the world, these kind of dark times we are in, where we are all looking for that beautiful sunrise right behind you, that's the time for us to be really reflecting on, counting the gifts in our lives and feeling the sense of utter gratitude, but also thinking of, wow, what is the gift that I am, and what's the gift that I offer back to life at this time around Christmas and the New Year, whatever, religion, creed, whatever one's background might be, but it calls for that.
Yeah, well, through all of humanity's time, when it was dark, That's why they celebrated the solstice, was to call in the light. And then, of course, if you wish, the darkness, that the light of the Christ consciousness represented by Jesus or Yeshua, but it's that light in the darkness. And really, the two of you are such bright lights, and you've been traveling so much. So, tell us a little bit about the tour. Which countries did you go to, and what was your overall experience of humanity after traveling to all these places?
Well, wow. I mean, this is a big story. And, just wanted to connect also, Scott, as you are turning 70, that time of the year, 18 years ago, also brought us together. So we are also celebrating the gift of relationship. And I only bring it up also because on a deep level, this was the One Home journey, as we call it, a celebration also of relationship, or celebration, you call it the global tribe, the family of life, and beyond humanity, where we come together in a new way. And we feel very strongly this is the calling, also the calling we picked up on the journey as we traveled. Your question, to 20 countries in 4 seasons. We traveled a season to Africa, a season to Asia, Asia, Oceania, a season to Abya Yala, to the Americas, and a season to, the Arab world and back to Europe. And kind of tuning into, on the one hand, the new practices, new ancient practices we find in each and every culture that can take us into the future, but also into its indigenous wisdom of every culture. And, of course, connecting to our one home.
And that's also why, as we tuned in, especially when we heard it was your birthday, in addition just to the gift of life, this was, our entire journey was around the concept of gift. So it's a gifting culture, it's a gift economy. So it's really this notion we felt that on Christmas Day was when 18 years ago we received the big gift, the aha moment, or the duh moment, that we were in each other's lives and we've been brought together for a purpose that was to be recognized who we were for each other and committed to making our lives a gift back to life, of dedicating our lives to serving humanity, the family of life, the earth, and a future where we could live together as a family of life. And that's what then led to the next aha moment many Christmases later, on New Year's, to the vision of the One Home journey, where the journey, yes, it's a journey, but it's really the sense of, it's the inner journey into ourselves, while we are journeying to every country on earth over these 7 years, to tap in to the gift of every part of. This was a gift we received when we started the journey from an artist. It's very, very light and fragile. And it's Michel Granger, who's been portraying the earth since the 1970s. And it's just showing the earth as seen from space, so our home. And this has been held by 12,000 people, from babies to children to young people to elders to indigenous communities, women in slums and refugee camps. And every time the biggest learning was when people held this. Immediately there was this silence, this inner reverence, this oneness, this love, this awakening, this knowing, this eternal knowing, whether with children or with elders, So that was like a symbol of the gift of the journey.
And Scott,
I want to take a moment, because I really could feel that. And I want to invite our audience just to take 30 seconds of silence to imagine through Rama and Alexander this beautiful, gentle, fragile object, this fragile earth that we're on. How many people touched it, held it?
About 12,000.
12,000. So let's just all tune in to our humanity through the 12,000 people touched by Rama Alexander in this little microcosm of our Mother Earth Gaia.
Scott, if
Thank you,
I
Scott.
may add to your invitation an experience that we may also share on this screen as we are holding together the earth. There was something very unique that we discovered in doing so, which we didn't know before. In the moments when we held the earth together, and we usually did it, after workshops we did, be it in refugee camps or in slums or in orphanages or in kindergartens or in schools. When we held it together in those moments, there was every border between us was gone. Whether white or black or young or old or different social classes, in these moments there was a reaching out to something which is shared, which is precious. And beyond that, there was a sense of, I want to contribute to that. I want to see that flourish, and this is ours to care for. That energy was universal and very profound, and led us also in deeper understanding of where the journey goes in the future.
Yes. And we began to call that, and that was a gift, when you said, what did we learn? Because when we first finished the first year in July, we spent some time, again, what did we learn from every culture and every country? What was unique? And then we spent a lot of time reflecting on what was in common? What is it that links us as humanity? What brings us together as humanity and unity? And it was what Alexander says. And the name that rose up and came to us was, what's emerging is Earth citizenship, humanity recognizing itself, wherever we are, that we are citizens of this one home, the Earth, and we therefore have the agency. Whatever happens to us, we can choose to give back the gift of life. We can choose to say a yes. We can choose to create something in the midst of nothing. That is our choice. And if we do it together, it can flourish. That was something so beautiful. And it's what we are building the second year, which we've just begun, on that basis of what we learned from the first year, that everyone is rising with this yes. I want to make my gift, my unique gift, and there is something I can give which no one else can give. And if we do it together, there is so much impact we can have together for our future.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
And beyond this old metaphor of the global village, the Earth citizenship is seeing the Earth as a living organism. It's not something we dominate or which is ours to extract from, but this is a living being which includes all of us, Jasmine Bear and Samba and all our fellow beings. And at the same time, it is profoundly local, Scott, because Earth and many of the homes for humanity that we visited, are working in new ways with the Earth, be it in indigenous communities or new kinds of farming, bringing Earth and land together, bring us into new relationship with the Earth we are caring for locally, while at the same time there is a sense of interconnectedness, of planetary family, of the oneness of life. This is a profound discovery that we found in all our cultures, also in our cultures, Rama, I would say deep philosophies, from Ubuntu in Africa or Mitakuye Oyasin, the Native Americans.
Did you guys happen to be in Africa at the same time as our friends Pato and Antoinette?
We connected,
Absolutely.
like our Homes for Humanity youth partners then connected with them. So it was just a few months off. So there was a lot of communication going on, which was wonderful. What we would love, like we did last time, Scott, we need to say, the last time we were on your show, shortly before the journey, we had Pops Mohammed, the icon of indigenous and
I remember him.
African
He was
music with
beautiful.
us.
Yeah.
And he just passed right before his birthday, which was the 10th of December. So we are just honoring him because he really accompanied us all of these years as we passed. But we thought that, as we always do on your shows, we would love in a few moments to bring to life some of the gifts of the different cultures. Alexander, maybe you just want to share the gift. We mentioned we traveled as a gift culture and a gift economy, which meant that what we really wanted to bring back, maybe you want to share that, is the values of generosity and
Yeah.
sharing and
Which is deeply ingrained actually in all our cultures, which we found this profound sense of generosity, of sharing home and sharing what you have. This is a beautiful bag that in fact Rama received when we visited a wonderful tribe in Kenya, in the Mount Savu reservation, and who are working on a new kind of economy, and they invited us into their space, and at the very end we received this gift, which now carries the gifts of all the cultures we visited.
And just going back to our gifting culture, what it means is, we offer the journey as a gift. We go to every country and work with children, with women, with youth, with indigenous elders, and recognize who want to build a future, but also honor and recognize outstanding organizations that are role models for how we could live in peace and unity, in harmony with nature and with each other. And we received the hospitality. We always stayed home to home with our hosts. So everything we were able to do was because we could travel at minimum cost, living with people, them transporting us from place to place. So very ecological. And then, the few gifts that we received, financially from well-wishers to enable this to happen. And the impact in 1 year made us realize, my gosh, if that could happen in 1 year, what can we not do in the 7 years of the journey? So we can really experience every year how this world is coming into being. So just a few cloths, if you're up to it, that we could travel with, yes. So this one has one cloth from every country or community we were in, which we received. And the beauty with cloth is, it's really the coming together of nature and culture, right? Because cloth is made out of nature. And so when we travel with it, people touch it. So they feel they're connecting with all of the people of that country. So it's quite powerful. So we had just chosen a couple of poems that Alexander wrote in the countries as we traveled, his morning poetry, and a couple of, not the full stories, but kind of like a little dash to take you to take all of the global tribe to the different continents we were in, and into the second year, which has just begun, because we've really been traveling with you. You've been with us, the global tribe has been with us. It's been an awakening journey with you. And we would love it that as the years unfold, we are tapping in with the global tribe, regularly, season by season, to continue this journey together.
Yeah. And Scott, maybe just to mention the Global Tribe, it's so beautiful how many partner organizations also work with us, from the Holo Movement and Purpose Earth, or Tatiana's organization, Ignite. All of this is coming together.
World Future Council,
The
yeah.
World
And
Future-
the prize, no?
Yeah.
We could come to
And
that.
it's very true. It seems like it started with the pandemic. And March of 2020 is when the Global Peace Tribe was born. And I noticed that is when Unity
Yes.
Earth and
Oh,
the
yes.
Field and so many organizations began around that time. And instead of there being this kind of competitive, thing that it used to be like that with nonprofits, everybody just supports everybody else. It's, I grew up in LA, which was Los Angeles in the entertainment industry, which of course is highly competitive. And just the lack of competition and the amount of compersion, I love that word, compersion, that takes place within all of our different groups. Just like, of course, the moment I mentioned Patron Antoinette, of course you're collaborating with them, right? So we're all teaming up in our own unique ways, which is such a beautiful thing. I want our audience to know how they can learn much more about you, because this is just a little homeopathic dose of your amazing medicine. So please go, everybody, to homeforhumanity.earth and set aside some time, because there's a lot to look at. It's a very elaborate website. And this is, of course, what we're talking about. They just got back from 20 countries. And there's so much to share. They've got videos, and it's just beautiful exploring. I was taking a look at it last night, and there's so many parts to what's happening here. So please, let's all support Home for Humanity. And when we go back live, I'm going to just learned before we came on air, coming to the United States, and they're going to be on the West Coast in March. So we must create time together when you come to the West Coast.
We will
Love
definitely
that,
will.
Scott. And do we still have a couple of moments to like literally take you around the earth
Sure,
and share
sure,
a couple
sure.
of stories? Yes, we will do them very, very fast in the next 3 minutes. But we feel that is what we owe the global tribe, to travel
Absolutely. We want to see some global.
mini tour. Okay, let's go.
So in the spirit of gifting, we open this little journey around the planet, our one home, with a poem called Gift. And what if all your soul has ever longed for were already here and now, and here and now, and here and now. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. The gift was given long ago. Time to unravel what is yours to live. Do not lose patience with yourself, though you have failed 1,000 times. Life longs to play the violin with you, producing tunes of here and now, and here and now. Breathe in, breathe out, until you realize and you are one. Have always been. Breathe in, breathe out. And with that, to Africa.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Welcome to Africa. We are the youth of Africa, the young women and the young men. And we welcome you to Nakibale Refugee Settlement. We may be refugees from the war in the Congo, but here our gift is we are transforming our pain and suffering in this refugee camp where we are exiles, homeless, into Nyumba ya Umoja, a home of unity. Nyumba, home, Umoja, unity. Welcome to Nyumba ya Umoja.
From Africa to Asia.
Namaste, namaste. We are the women of the slums of Mumbai, Oro. And our gift that we offer you is to transform the violence and oppression that we have suffered and our belief in our powerlessness into our realization. We are not powerless. We have the power within ourselves, in the inner home of our hearts. We have the power with each other in the local homes each one of us lives in. And together we have the power to transform our powerlessness, to bring about change in the whole world, because this earth is our one home. So our gift is Shakti. Shakti means power, and all of us have power.
And finally, welcome to the beginning of the
Abya Yala.
Oh, we are moving to Abya Yala from Asia to Mexico.
Welcome to the Americas. We are the indigenous elders of Abya Yala. And our gift in this time of deep division is to bring back Omeyotal, the great unity under the duality, and the remembrance that we all can live buen vivir, that the important gift of life is to live together in harmony with all of life.
O Matteo, and from Abhyayala, we welcome you to the beginning of the second year of the One Home journey to the Philippines.
Welcome to our school. We are the children of the Kauswagen Central Elementary School, and we are so proud that now Kauswagen is the first municipality to be named a home for humanity. Our parents lived for 50 years of war, and there was so much poverty and hunger in our land. But now there is peace between our Muslim and our Christian brothers and sisters, and we are planting organic unity gardens for peace here in our school and all over our municipality. And that is how we are going to create a world that is a home for humanity in unity with all life on earth. And that's what we call Kalibutan. Kalibutan is the earth. It means all of life on earth and all of the consciousness that connects us with everyone alive. Thank you.
Dear friends, all of these cases were homes for humanity. And we close with another poem that takes us into the second year of the journey. And again, it is entitled Gift. And once more, happy birthday, dear Scott. Gift. Yes! And even if I got the message that all life would end tomorrow and the universe would vanish, I would still bake my bread and would reserve some grains for planting futures. How could I possibly abandon life in such a crucial moment, having received the greatest gift of all, falling in love abundantly and madly with existence on every single day?
Oh, I love you two so much. I love how theatrical you are and you're willing, and the way you convey your embodied memory. For example, the Philippine municipality. So you really embody your memory of who you met and then convey it back to us. It's a gift. It is an amazing and rare and unique gift that you have. Really.
Thank you, Scott, for letting us share that. And it was just a way to say what you just did a few moments ago, that this for us is really a shared journey. You know, what was very beautiful, the reason we were in the Philippines is, much to our surprise, we were invited to receive a peace prize, and we said we will accept it on condition that you accept that the prize is a collective prize for everyone who's been involved in this journey, who's been involved over the years, who's been involved in this past year, and who will be involved in all the years to come. And they allowed us to do so. So you won't believe it. We went on stage in this magnificent, beautiful ceremony with our earth and with our bag of all the cloths. So we were carrying all the geographies and all the cultures and all the people and all the animals that we had met. And symbolically, we had an empty bag from the Philippines gifted to us by a young social entrepreneur woman who would symbolize the empty bag of all the people and cultures and countries to come. And we received the gift, the prize, in our collective name. And it was an invitation to say, we would love that everyone joins, everyone shares what is their gift to life and how would they like to be connected in this weaving of this journey. And there is a little page which you just shared called Join the Journey, which shows all the different ways people can join. I think it's it's
I'll pull it up right here. Here we go.
pull it up. And we would love to hear, yes, it's, I believe, under
Right in the
One
middle.
Home University. Just if you, yes, right there.
Number
is
2.
Number 2, Join the Journey. And it gives all kinds of ways that people can join by just sharing the story, by sharing their responses, their comments, by sharing their gifts, by hosting us, by becoming their organization, becoming a home for humanity.
Or by participating in the events that we do online in each and every country. We call them
On-site.
Earth Citizens Agoras, on-site and online. So there are many ways, and we are continuing to weave the global tribe all together, Scott. So you, your community, all of us together do have a chance of building a beautiful new sunrise, which is emerging behind your head. And
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm going to, of course, send this out to everybody. We're also going to make a separate segment of what we just recorded, and I'll send that to you. And also we'll put it on our playlist. And I love you both so much, and I hope to see you. I will see you.
we will.
In
We
March.
will plan it ASAP very early so we can, make it live.
And dear Scott, happy
birthday.
birthday.
Somewhere in the flood of emails you'll receive, there'll be our wishes on Christmas Day, and we'll
Well,
celebrate with you.
Thank you. WhatsApp is a good way. Now that we've got
WhatsApp,
that.
only
let's use the
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp
Only
to talk
WhatsApp.
started.
Yeah.
Me too.
Love you guys so
Much
much.
love.
70 hugs and more.
Aren't they wonderful? I didn't know they were going to do the little theatrical thing. I thought we were kind of wrapping up because it's 20 minutes. And then when she was hustling so fast to change her costumes and do the different voices and do the different characters from the Philippines or Mexico or wherever it was really, really quite beautiful. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I'd love to see some comments. So, pop into the chat box. So Kat says, very sweet. It was wonderful. Absolutely lovely. Very sweet. Okay, good. It was good for me. I hope it was good for all of you. Well, drum roll, please. We are going to start a new section that I've just kind of dreamed up for the Global Peace Tribe. We've really become a family, or as DR likes to say, a framily. That's a combination of friends and family. Framily. And so it would be wonderful for us to get to know all of you a little bit better. Because each of you have an amazing story. Each of you have, what brought you to the awakening world. And so Susan Blomquist has volunteered to be our first example of, I'll have to come up with a name for it, but it's kind of like get to know our community better type of a thing. And, but she asked that we pre-record it because she is still shy. And I actually really like that the very first person is Susan, because Susan is someone who's on the shy side. So this is a pre-record I did with her about a week ago. And the first example of hopefully many of get to know our community. And we'll start by getting to know Susan Blomquist. Susan, I'm really happy to be talking with you, and you've been a big part of Global Peace Tribe for a long time. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about your story, about maybe how this community has had a positive impact on you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me tell this, because a lot of us have stories in the Global Peace Tribe, and we've supported each other and upheld by listening to and holding each other in your container. So we are all very grateful to you, but I think that in my case, I just want to talk about why I am in particular grateful for this whole situation that you have been holding. So my story, I'm going to go back to, well, when I got married and we had decided to have children, we decided that I would stay more or less home with the kids until they were old enough to really, do their own lives. And when we had kids, I bought a business that would be able to be alone while I took care of the kids. So along they came, and we were doing fine, kind of normal life until about, well, in the beginning, I had to go to the schools and volunteer. So I spent a lot of time in schools with children. And this is in addition to a lot of time I've spent with children because I have a big family.
Mhm.
So that history makes me similar in story to a lot of teachers, and there's a lot of teachers on the Global Peace Tribe.
Yeah, that's true. We attract a lot of educators.
Yeah, a lot of teachers, and so I'm not a teacher, but I was there. I was there day in and day out for years. I mean, because the situation is kind of out of control. I mean, schools do not have nearly enough people to take care of the jobs that they're supposed to be doing. And there's always some volunteers, and then they would just sort of be the volunteers year after year, and they would do the job. But my life just went away because there was such a need for young people to have just anyone there to help them grow and get in through their lives. I mean, just get through recess for one thing. So I witnessed a great deal of childhood behavior and parents and teachers and how that all was. And so when I came to the Global Peace Tribe, I had come from a place of that experience. And then in addition to that, much worse and crazier, my children were diagnosed with Lyme in 2012, I believe. And they had had years of difficult experiences in school. The bullying is out of control, and they wouldn't go to school a lot of times. They'd be sick and they'd stay home, and I'd have to talk to a lot of the administrators. And I have to say this because I've thought about it. If any of them ever hear this, they were very helpful. That being the case, I was threatened. They said, the CDC decided that there was no Lyme in Colorado. So none of the schools had any policy for us. We just didn't fit. There was no policy. There was no policy for my kids staying home. The doctor we were working with, who was really considered one of the best doctors in the country around this, and has a list of clients that you can't get through, he said it would be best to go ahead and try to do school. And so we tried half time, and that sort of worked, but not very good. And then just things happened, and there was no policy. And the reason I am so very much in honor of Chief Phil is because there's like ways you deal with things, deal with people, and the principles of unity and development, they were never applied in school. And so the journey was very difficult. And so when I found the Global Peace Tribe, I was not in a good place. I also had no idea how to talk on Zoom or communicate in this way. And so that was a huge learning curve. And a lot of us depend on you, and there was like a period when all of us were like, excuse me, how do you do this? And how do you, I mean, you were really supportive about all that. So you helped us grow, even in the way of communicating in the new modern way, right? Like we grew up and we communicated person to person, and school is person to person. Kids, it's face to face. I mean, you just never do this. So, being able to mature, being able to be with other people who've had really difficult times, and having that camaraderie and your care for all of us, it's made the difference between me being able to function well, and even was able to develop my company through people that I met through your tribe, which is like a spiritual world. And I didn't expect, I looked when I first came to the Global Peace Tribe, I was thinking maybe I'd find people that would help. And they did. And this whole journey I've taken was because of open-minded people that came through your show. And another thing I wanted to tell people that are working with the Global Peace Tribe is that there's some kind of, with all the spiritual people and the healings and the just the presentations and all the different presentations, each person with their different needs will find something that resonates. And that's part of the testimonial I wanted to make, and that just without having to see it all, you'll be led to the right place. There's some kind of magic about all this. It flows, and all of us have shown in our faces, in our presentations of ourselves, in our ability to communicate with each other. This is a real triumph. And it's not hero worship. It's genuine gratitude for people who needed a little bit of leadership to get out of like stories. And so many of us have really been able to walk with more dignity and more peace.
Well, thank you, Susan, for sharing all that. That touches my heart and is very gratifying, very inspiring. And it's beautiful because you're inspiring me, and the whole purpose of the Awakening World and the Global Peace Tribe is to inspire others, because there's a lot of hard stuff going on in the world. And I really appreciate you represent a part of society that gets forgotten. Women who have dedicated themselves to their children, sometimes dedicated themselves to families or even husbands who don't respect them or appreciate them or take good care of them. And all the contributions you made going to those schools and contributing to those children. And I do believe, when this life is over, we have a panoramic life review and we see the impact that we made on people. And there were children then who you contributed to their life, and they have been able to stay in touch with you. They don't know how to reach you. But when this life is over and you're having your panoramic life review, you're going to have a lot of wonderful things. I remember little Johnny. Oh, I remember that time with Susie. And things that you did, helping them to feel understood, helping them to learn, helping them in wonderful ways that contributed to their lives. So, yeah. There's that line from the Bible, great shall be your reward in heaven. And that's really where I think part of the reward in heaven is when we can see little things that we did, that random acts of kindness, random acts of support that made life more wonderful for people. And I acknowledge you and all the other people watching our show right now who have been part of that kind of silent part of our great country, who've made beautiful contributions. So I'm glad that the Global Peace Tribe and our Awakening World shows have been a source of inspiration for you and support. And it's been beautiful watching your kind of coming out, turning on your camera and dancing and moving. And so it's beautiful. So thank you very much. And I'm going to make this an ongoing, regular thing where members of the Global Peace Tribe can share their story. As you were saying, so yeah, more and more people, I want them. So invitation, if you enjoyed listening to Susan's story and you want to share your story, let me know and we'll do some more of these. And thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. Oh, and mute. Yeah, beautiful. And I'm appreciating a lot of the comments coming into the chat box. And Susan, I know you're here on the show right now, a little bit shy with your camera off, but I definitely would love to do more of these. So if any of you would like to either come on live on camera or like Susan did, do a pre-record and share your story, let me know and we'll make that happen. And if people enjoyed this new segment, let me know. All right. Okay, I am going to turn it over to Diara and Desiree for our prayer time, and then we'll close out with an Om Shar song. And I am seeing a lot of wonderful comments coming in, by the way. Really, really nice to see. Beautiful. Thank you. And Susan's receiving your responses, which is beautiful. Thank you. All right, it is prayer time. Here is Diara. And where's her partner? There she is.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you, Susan. Oh, that just warmed my heart, and sending you maximum grace for all the things you've been through. And then sending maximum grace to all of the other individuals who have been through things as well. So I'm going to start the prayer today with a nice big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Atikira kara surukare sirakate sarakore sirakata sirakata sarakata sarakate surukoto surukata sarakata sar. Isarakate sarakata sar. As we release what no longer serves us, we bring in light. Kurete sarakate 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 surukata. We expand our knowledge. Tikrete kara sarakata. We expand our knowing. Tikrete kara sarakata kara sarakata sar. But we can also grow that light from within. The angels will help you expand that now. As we get in touch with our true authentic selves, we speak our truth. You are blessed. You are loved. It all comes within. We honor you.
And taking that beautiful energy bestowed upon ourselves and sending that out to all of us who've been touched in one way or another by education, by all those who have their hearts in the right place that are giving and providing service. We support them as well. So healing in every way for any of the wounds that we may have experienced. And we take this out beyond ourselves again and send this out around the world, healing the discord, the seeming separation, and scooping up this energy that we've been hearing about tonight, tangibly taking that energy and molding it into that love and sending that out. And so breathing in peace, bringing ourselves back into the coherence, back into that oneness, back into the bliss, pushing away anything other than that. And then offering this state of coherence and bliss in the field to all who are ready to receive. And blessing all of us in our tribe, blessing all of us who are stepping out more courageously to be seen, to be heard, to be shown. And we remember that systems are made up of people, and we can pray for the people in the systems that they see the light, they see their own love, and healing, healing, healing for those who've not yet reached that space.
Just have a minute of silence, and everybody can put in the chat box or silently expressing anything you're holding prayer for. And of course, we pray for all the places in the world where there's violence, hurtful choices impacting innocent people. Thank you so much, Desiree. DR, I so appreciate your contributions every week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to flow right into our closing song for the night with our beloved Om Shar.
Thank you, beautiful ones. Feel that deeply. And Susan, Ms. Bloomquist, that you rocked, sweetheart. I know it's also a challenge to watch yourself after the fact, but you touched me, so I'm sure that you've touched many folks here. And this is a song we can all sing. I'm going to put it in the chat. Don't unmute, just sing it to yourselves loud. And we've sung it before, but it just felt to be present with us tonight. And there it is in the chat. And here we go. Why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Why have we come to love? serve and remember to love, serve and remember to love, serve and remember. One more time. Why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Why have we come to love, serve and remember 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 to love, serve and remember. Why have we come to serve and remember? Why have we come? Last one. To love, serve and remember. To love, serve and remember to love, serve and remember, remember to love, serve and remember. Why have we come?
Can everybody feel that? Can you feel the love emanating from Omashar and then rippling out through the people moving and holding space? And that is the message. That is it. We are here to love, serve, and remember. Big twinkle for Omashar. That is magnificent. That's just magnificent. That was very inspired. Oh, thank you, bro.
Oh, yes. Maximum grace to Scott and his bi-location. He's back in his old throne, which is his new throne. And I'm just sending maximum grace for this shift because I know on the inside there's always a bit of turmoil. And so thank you for continuing. Do you realize that it was only 10 minutes before our green room meeting that Scott arrived in his new digs, let's say. He jumped out of his car, turned on his computer and said, "I'm ready."
The sad truth, the sad part is that I am leaving the Kind Heart Ranch, and it's heartbreaking, honestly. But I'm also really grateful to have a beautiful home here in Tiburon with a lovely community, and my friend Emily is here, and I've got a great space, and Jazzy knows everybody, and everybody loves Jazzy, so I feel blessed. I feel blessed and sad. You know, it's really both. You know, it's like I go back and forth between the sadness and the gratitude, the sadness and the gratitude.
Bittersweet. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is how life is, you know. Seeing some of the things that people put into the chat box, Carol, and what her relatives are going through.
It's amazing. It's well, not even amazing. It's a travesty. And yeah, here we are. We can just hold each other and love and support and just uplift each other and spiral upwards together. Because there was something. What was it earlier? I forget where it was. Someone said that we've spiraled down into as small as we can get into the smallest boxes. And there's nowhere else to go except to spiral up again. And as we're spiraling up, all that is not is flecking off from us, and occasionally we get re-embroiled. But we're doing it together, and so thank God, Goddess, for that.
Absolutely. Thank you for the acknowledgement.
Thank you,
A couple
brother.
of other things I do want to share. I almost forgot. It's for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, come join us. Come join the Global Peace Tribe. We've just started a brand new season. And our new season is every Wednesday and every Saturday night. And we do special shows, including this Sunday. We're going to have a Sacred Sunday show. But please register for the new season. Go to globalpeacetribe.com and then just click register for the new season, and that'll take you to our registration page. It really will if you do it. I can't because it's some weird thing, but if you click that, it will take you to the registration page. And join us. We want you to be part of this amazing family. It really is a remarkable group of people. And then I always like to share with people what's coming up. And on Saturday night, it is another Soul Search night. And I'm actually going to be going to Rohnert Park. There's a Soul Search Enlightenment Expo happening in Rohnert Park. And so it's going to be, Rohnert Park is in the Bay Area. So any of you that are in the Bay Area, definitely come. It's Saturday. I'll get there sometime Saturday afternoon, and I'll be doing my Awakening World show from the hotel where the expo is happening. And we've got great guests. Anthony and Renee, probably the ones that you all know the most. Barbara Tintori will be my co-host. And so that's what's happening on Saturday night. And then, if at all possible, come to Rohnert Park back on Sunday, because union between a man and a woman. Now, some of you may know that I was originally going to do this with Eden, and then Eden got a really good gig this weekend. And I'm very grateful that I was able to call Katrina, who's co-founder of the Love Coach Academy with me and my longtime friend of 20 years. And she's going to pinch hit for Eden. And Katrina is just as fascinating and is brilliant. So anyway, of course, for those of you that can't make it to Rohnert Park, please join us. I will put the link to the Zoom room into the chat box in a moment. And of course, we will, I'll send out an email to all of our subscribers. So it's going to be Sunday at 12 noon Pacific time. So put that on your calendars, Sunday at 12 noon Pacific time. And I hope to see some of you in person, and it'd be really wonderful to see all of you, hopefully online in the Zoom room. And I'm going to get the invitation right now. Here it is, copy invitation. You don't need all that stuff. You just need this part. And I'm going to put it into the chat box. There you go. So take a moment to copy the link. That's the link that I just put in for this Sunday at 12 noon. And hope to see as many of you there as possible. The last thing I wanted to show is, as you know, I've dedicated this year, both Kristen and I had such a wonderful visit with her when she came to visit. We have dedicated this year to magic, mystery, and miracles. And our dear friend Dorina has created another gorgeous art piece, if you will. So in the center, we have magic, mystery, and miracles. And then she's added as kind of words of intention, happiness, harmony, co-creation, coherence, healing, and wholeness. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful image. And I'm so grateful to Dorina. She always comes in and asks wonderful questions and created those beautiful posters for me on my birthday. So thank you, Dorina. You are a wonderful, wonderful member of the Global Peace Tribe. I want to thank Dr. Kat for her wonderful presentation. Is she still with us? I think she might have
Gone to bed.
gone to bed. And of course, our new friend Jackson Strong. And most of all of you. Thank you for being such wonderful human beings, dedicating your lives as all of you have. I've got you on gallery view. And have a beautiful few days. I hope to see some of you maybe in person on Saturday and all of you Saturday night online and again on Sunday. Take care, everybody. Have a beautiful evening and good night.